let's talk about first hires. Do you have any guidance on so let's say you're starting out by yourself, okay? Because one of the first questions I always get from law firm owners is, okay, what should be the first hire?
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of times it's, should I hire a receptionist? Should I hire an assistant? Should I hire an office admin? Should I hire an attorney? Should I hire a paralegal? Do you have, and so we'll have to be a little more general when it comes to running a business, but I'm guessing the principles are going to apply the same.
My first hire was always a shortstop. So I play baseball. So the shortstop is the most versatile position on the field. They can usually play anything from second base to center field to pitcher. And so it was always somebody who had a lot of different talents, knowing that early on they were going to be doing a couple of different things. So at the gift company, our first person, she was doing sales. She was sourcing product. She was out networking. She was very organized. So she did a couple things that took a thing off of each of the co-founders' plates. And so she was only able to stay. We didn't need a shortstop forever, because eventually as we grow and specialize, okay, now somebody can just do sales. But then she gets a choice. Hey, if you want to stay a shortstop, you can go find another company who needs a shortstop. But are you ready now to move from that into just sales or just this other?
It's like you read my mind, because I said, I was going to ask you, you're basically hiring them though, knowing they're not going to be around forever.
Not in that position forever.
Yeah, well, definitely not in that position. Right. So you answered that question. My follow-up is going to be though, isn't that person really hard to find, and are you going to have to overpay for that person?
The height of my success is directly related to the depth of my community. So every time, especially in the gift company, that we needed a critical hire. So that first hire was somebody that had interned at my very first company, and we just stayed in touch and what they were looking for, and we kept chatting. We eventually did open a retail store. Ended up being $1 million part of our business. We needed somebody to run a retail store. We're just three dudes who, been to stores, but a friend of ours who had been a regional merchandiser for Gap. She was like, kind of ready to live corporate. I've always wanted to own my own boutique, but I don't have the money to open mine. We were like, what if you open one like for us? You had complete control. And she was like, sounds awesome. So beautiful store, beautiful element. We had to design that store. Her husband was an architect. He's like, I normally design boring medical buildings. Like, I'd love to get back to cool stuff and design a beautiful store. So it's building building your network before you need it. As a phrase, dig your well before you're thirsty. And so understanding, like, can you meet today? Hey, I'm thinking about starting a firm in a year. A year after that, I'll need a shortstop. Go meet some folks who in your space would like that. And it's so interesting now where maybe we're in a different labor market, TBD, but people are looking for meaning. Back to that safety, growth, and meaning, 3 elements of community. Meaning is hard to find, especially in the corporate space. I think you'd be surprised about how many people want to help a friend, want to help somebody start something new, want to try that out. Because if you are in a large corporate job, legal side or otherwise, you can probably go back to a large corporate job. By and large, you've proven that. Great name on your resume, been there a couple of years, several years. Like, based on where you're at financially, talk to your family, but you could probably try something out. So those people are out there. You don't have to go find some college kid that you're spending half your time teaching how to be a professional. You can find those folks. So if you start now, don't start when it was like, I needed a shortstop 3 weeks ago. The only exception to that I'll say, obviously if you're in a specialized field, if I'm running a hospital, I need a nurse.
Sure, yeah.
But what are you doing as the founder that you don't need to be doing, that a lot of people can do just as well or maybe better? So I was balancing the books every month because it's math, it's a spreadsheet. I got it. Man, if I can stop doing that, and there's 1 million people who can balance the books, enter the ledger, et cetera, I can spend 3 more hours a week on sales. And that will create more than enough money to go pay somebody to do the books. So you can start to carve out a few things like that until you bring on a full-time hire. And so either identify those with you and your founding team. Great, that's 40 hours amongst us. Here's the list that the shortstop's going to take care of. Or if it's just, nope, I'm only going to bring in somebody for 10 hours to do this. But you've got to be clear on how that allows you as the founder to create additional wealth, to pay for that person and then some. Otherwise, you're never going to scale. Maybe it allows you to sleep an extra hour and you really need that right now. That's fine too.
Sleep's important.
That's right. Because again, you can get that hour and create value from that. So that's where you just do that math. It can be quick, back of the napkin math, but show that there's value there to figuring that out. And that it's worth, you're going to create kind of that wealth or that extra revenue from farming that out and hiring that out.